Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Excuse me, sisters and brothers. Still recovering, still had this cough. They're working hard to silence me in every way imaginable. They're not playing. It's serious. We're going to talk about New Jerusalem. They talk about New Jerusalem in Revelations, or the AL-INJIL, book that reveals everything. That's why they call it Revelations. But they have no idea what these things mean. You got dumbass Farrakhan talking about New Jerusalem is the wheel. That's the wheel. And it's a city, some gigantic city in the sky. We're all going to live on the wheel. Wheel's going to come down and we're going to live. That's going to be New Jerusalem. We're going to live there. It's only a mile by a mile, half mile by half mile. You know what that is? Well, the normal city block is about eighth of a mile. So 4 city blocks is about a half a mile. So take that a half mile square. And you think all of us going to live there? That'd be what, 4 by 4? That's 16 blocks. Anyway, that's how stupid. The man is blind. They're telling you this so-called savior, that if he make it, it's going to be his last public appearance. They're telling you he's dead, he's dying. He's not going to die that fast, though. We got plans for him, but he's ineffective. He's always been effective. If he was to die there tomorrow, what would there be left? There'd be nothing left because he destroyed everything. There's nothing for him. There's nothing to destroy because he hasn't built the damn thing. What did he leave? A whole bunch of student ministers. He already told you they don't know a damn thing because if they did, they wouldn't be student ministers. He got you set up going left. He made this thing. I mean, he's got this going. He's playing this out. But we have a plan too. See? Because once he's gone, see, Ishmael, who think if you pay attention to him, think he's going to keep things rolling along. About Farrakhan's up on the wheel, he's got a special connection, all this stupid stuff. You don't pay attention to him now. He thinks they do. They pay attention to Farrakhan. They're into there for entertainment. They ain't there for any reason, logic, because they did. They wouldn't even be with Farrakhan at all. They would have dished him a long time ago. So here he is trying to hold up something that cannot be held up. Farrakhan's gone. The idol is gone. People start waking up from their trance. People start scratching their ass and scratching their head, wondering where the money went. It's too late then, because all the money in his pocket and to his relatives, which they are nowhere to be found, because the minute they say he's not around anymore, they will disappear, just like a lot of Elijah Muhammad's children or family disappeared. They'll disappear. Yeah, Ishmael's mother, she down. Why is she in Mexico? He said, they had the house paid on the car. Why are you hiding down in Mexico, out the country? Was she Mexican? They was hiding out in Mexico. Farrakhan's family already, they set up in Arabia. They'll be gone so fast you never know what happened to them with all that money and everything else. That so-called economic program that never happened. You leave nothing. There'll be nothing, just Farrakhan. And he'd be exposed. But then you wake up from your nightmare, oh man. So he don't even leave you that. He leave you knowing you was a fool. He leave you knowing you was a fool. Because when he leaves, when he's gone, right? Everything's gonna come out. And so then you're going to realize you're the fool. So he's not going to leave you anything. He's not going to leave you any dignity, any money, any resources, any infrastructure, nothing. And not even dignity. Oh, man, you mean I was falling a fool? Oh boy, he's got something for you, but we got something for him. So we're going to talk about this New Jerusalem, but we're going to first talk about Genesis, because none of you understand Genesis. The whole book is sealed, and Genesis is under veil as well. Genesis is under veil as well. But it's easy to decipher if you pay attention closely, but most of you don't pay attention closely. So you're in darkness because they make a lot of assumptions about it. Elijah Muhammad made a few assumptions too. So we're going to move into it, brothers and sisters, and see what we come up with. It says in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Earth was without form, void, darkness upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, you need to understand some angel language to understand it. I'm not going to try to explain it, but just going back 6,000 years, when Europe was barely inhabited. Because the main three tribes lived on the best part of planet Earth: Asia, Arabia, and what you call Africa, which Arabia is part of Africa. So that's 6,000 years ago, right? That's we're going back 6,000 years, the time of Dr. Yaqub. Okay, now this is the first day. Now you got to understand, a day is 1,000 years. So the first day is actually broken into two parts. It's broken up to a morning and an evening. So if it's 1,000 years, that means 500 years for each one. The morning is 500 years, and evening 5. So that first day is really a 1,000-year period broken into two parts. First 500 years and second 500 years. I'm not going into detail about that. I'm just showing you how the thing works. So that's the first day. So it goes back. I got numbers at the top there, and I have you in yellow. If it's in yellow, that means it's like before Christ type of stuff. But you see 4,000, that's 4,000 years after the 2,000 years of where they started AC and BC, AD and BC stuff. So you got that 2,000 years plus 4,000 years will bring you back 6,000 years. So that's my way of saying before Christ, if it's in yellow. Then red is after, they say AD is after death, whatever. That's going back, I'm trying to get, so it's two periods there, two 500-year periods, the day and the night. From 4,000 AD, from 4,000 BC, 3,500 BC is 1,500. From 3,500 BC to 3,000 BC is another. That's 6,000 years, right? Because you got AD is 2,000 years, and BC is 4,000 years, altogether 6,000 years. Now, the thing you notice here, you see, they mentioned water in here. Let's see. Okay, no, they don't mention anything about water here. Let me make sure I'm not missing something. Okay. So then they start mentioning waters here. It's a command, but you don't realize it's a command. God said, let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let divide the waters from the waters. There's two types of waters they're dividing here. That's very important as we move on into this, because it's part of the veil. Anyway, the second day, that's 500-year piece. So that goes back 3,000 BC, right? To 2,500 BC, that's 500 years. Then 2,500 to 2,000. So that's going back. That's how far back in time it's going, right? Still yellow, still BC stuff. And then let the waters heaven be gathered together. It's still talking about waters. So what they tell you is the verses, the days that have water in it, you keep them together. The days that have water in it, you keep them together. because it's separating water from water. So the words have words. You go together. If you don't have water in it, then you separate it as a separate part. They don't include the first one because they don't mention water to the second one. That's when the division takes place in the second one. It's kind of complicated. So we're still good to go here. See? But this water is right here again. See? So it goes with the second day and third day, they go together because both of them talk about water. And then gives a fourth day, but I got the fifth day there. Why? Because the fifth day references water, but the fourth day doesn't. So you have to separate it because it's part of another group. And that's very important because decipher this to understand, because this tells you the timeline for 6,000 years. If you follow this, you break this down. It tells you the historical timeline for the last 6,000 years. I'm not going to go in that kind of detail here. So in this place right here, this goes back to 1000 BC, 500 BC. Remember, this is before Christ, before the prophet Jesus came about. That's 1,000 years before he came about, and 500 years before. So that's part, and that's the day, and then night is 500. And then when I get to 0, I say it's red because that's the end of BC. AD starts right after that. I mean, the arrival of Jesus. Okay? So here you got this right here, still waters. So remember, this is the fifth one. So next one's going to be the fourth one because we had to switch them around because no water is mentioned here in the fourth one. There's no water mentioned here. Nothing about water is mentioned here. And next one either. Nothing is mentioned about waters here. Neither this one or in the sixth one because you keep them separate. And this is very important because what? Now, if you hear they talk about this, pay close attention, hit by these two lights. See? It says, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven, divide day and from the night, and let there be signs for seasons, days, and years. Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to give light to the earth. And it was so, and God made two great lights, greater light to rule the day and lesser light to rule the night. Now, you got to understand this very clearly. The night, that's the darkness, that's us. We're the black people. So it said the lesser light, right? But the greater light was the day. That was the rule of Caucasian people, Yahoo's creation. See, that's the Bible. That's the greater light, the Bible. The lesser light is the Quran given to us. See, you got to pay close attention to this. See? So, if you go to the period of time here, right, this is the period of time of Jesus, and then 500 years after that, Prophet Muhammad. See, those are two books. Book, Jesus, that's the Bible, and the Quran. During that period, that's why he had to separate the night from the day to get that. See? So that's what's going on here. So that's the two books. But it said the greater light was the Bible. It was given to, and that's what we told. That was given to Adam so he could rule. It was sealed. See? And the Quran, right, that book, if you understand chapter 20, the purpose of that book was to lock them down in the pit for 1,000 years. Because they got out of control. See? It was turned against the book that was given to them. But they don't understand the nature of their power. When you just obey the guidance, right? Because the guidance tells you it's like a manual on how to gain, obtain, and maintain power. If you disregard, then you're not going to have power. So they want to go to homosexuality and usury and all the stuff they're doing. Okay, well, they think they're power in weapons. That's not no power there. I think it is. That's what's going on here. That's very important here. That's the fourth day. The fourth day is actually the fifth day. The fifth day is actually the fourth day. Because when you separate the waters from the waters, that's what you get. So it says the Quran is a lesser light because it only had that certain small purpose. But the Bible is a greater light, but it's sealed and was given to them. The light, because they consider light there, we consider darkness, right? That's what that's all about, brothers and sisters. But this is what I want to really get to here. The sixth day. Now, if you understand this, right, sixth day will start 1,000 years ago. 1,000 to 1,500. Now we're talking about AD stuff, right? And then 1,500 to 2,000. That brings up here, so night and day. So the last 500 years will be 15 to 2,000. But what happens in the last part of that? The last part of that says let us make man in our image and our likeness. See, this is where you got to pay attention because they telling you this is Adam. This is not Adam. If you go by time frame here, no, this person who, these people being made here are in the last 500 years. That means between 1500 and 2000 during that period of time in general. I'm not putting exact numbers. I'm just giving you the general. So between, that's the last 500 years. Caucasian was made long. They was here already. They was here 6,000 years ago. Because when you go and read the next chapter in Genesis, it says before there was rain, before this. That means that's always, they was made back 6,000 years ago, not 500 years ago. Anyway, we just know from history they wasn't made 500 years ago. They tell you, oh, no, that's talking about Adam. No, if you read the timeline here, could not have been them. It's some people that's being made 500 years ago. In the furnace of affliction. That's talking about us, brothers and sisters. Let us make man our image and likeness. That gets back to Dr. Shabazz, right? Transforming us from angels into gods. That's just talking about, because that's what Dr. Shabazz's whole program was, to start out to take and transform his whole nation, right? Because it was made of angels, it's also made of gods, and to transform it, all of it into gods. So angels we came out, as gods we will return. That's what it's all about. And that's what that is here. It's about us. But when you go and you get the end of it, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, let them have dominion over the fish, the sea, over the fowl air, and over cattle, over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. That means he had control of everything. So God created man in his own image, and the image of God created he, male and female. That's another thing. Adam and Eve was not created male and female. First came Adam, out of his side came Eve. Here, they both came together. It was created at the same time. See? This is the birth of a nation. That's what it's talking about. You're giving birth to our nation. That's what this is talking about here. See? And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and every living thing that moves upon the earth. See? So it gives him control of everything. He never gave Adam all of that. That's what that's talking about. That's why I want to get to this point here. Because this speaks to the rest of what I'm going to talk about here. That's not talking about, they tell you, Elijah made that mistake. They think you're making, that's the making of Yahuwah's devils. No, because this happened in the last 500 years. That's the making of us, the remaking, the transformation of us. That's what that's all about, brothers and sisters. Understand the Genesis. Okay. Here we go. The journey of Dr. Shabazz. Now, like I said, let me move a couple things around here. Nope. What? Do it this way. Okay. Now, like I said, I don't expect you don't know this, because I'm bringing you along. But there's a lot of stuff in the angel key and angel that just speaks right at you. It gives you a big story, but you don't pay attention to it. You don't understand it. You don't see it. And it's right in front of your face. The story of Dr. Shabazz transforming us to gods is right there in the ark. Angel key, the ark part of it. It's right there. Right in front of your face, it tells you right there. Because look how we came over here as angels, all gold. That's how we came over here. See? But if you look at the bottom left there, see? We're on the top. We're just the gods now. We're the gods now. See, because we got a new body. See, that was old Jerusalem. We came as angels. That was old Jerusalem. That was us. Old, that was our makeup before. Old Jerusalem. See? All spatial, no demons, anything. That was old Jerusalem. So New Jerusalem is not no plane or wheel or anything. New Jerusalem is right there on the left. Because now we return as gods, because we're on the top. See? And the Shia, they're the angels now. Because that's our new body. That the top, that was our old body. See? But most of us didn't survive. And the only ones we want of us are those who made that last, see, the last transformation from angels to gods. That's the process that Dr. Shabazz put in motion, and I'm the one that certifies it. That was the purpose, 50,000 years of hard work, of patience, of God to get us to this point, the finish line, and we're in the furnace, and takes Suleiman to take and pull the gold out and check it to see if any impurities. And he was certified that he only pulled it out and certified once no impurities. It has to be totally pure gold. And those are the ones that make it 144,000. The small little seed that's going to, the little stone that's going to wipe out all other nations. Not the gods. But the angels, the place the angels now, that's the Shia. They're the angels now. And then the men, right? That's the Levites. They're below the angels. And then we have the jinn. See, they didn't say all the jinn was bad. The jinn, that's the Arabs. That's the new Jerusalem. That's the new body. See? And we have Suleiman. He's the high priest. He's with all the gods there. But we have Master Muhammad. He's the God that controls the whole affair. He's the God that's controlling the whole affair, right? And then you got Elijah and him. He's the one that's going to rule the Levites. So Master Muhammad from physical Jerusalem will see his throne will be physical Jerusalem. See, Suleiman's throne would be in Mecca. He's the high priest. See? Elijah's throne, right, would be what we might call Egypt or something now, because he will rule all of the Levites, because he's a Levite. See? But he'd be under Master Muhammad. All of us would be under Master Muhammad, right? But he would rule the whole thing. He's the one in the center there. And then you got the Jinn Arabs. Arabs will not be ruled by Arab because of their betrayal and everything else with that way betrayals. They'd be ruled by someone yet to be defined, right? Yet to be ID that's NOI right now. And my guess is going to be the person, right, that overthrows Farrakhan. That's my guess. I don't know. Yet to be identified, but he will rule over the Arabs. And they will not be in Arabia. They'll be in a place like Uzbekistan and Turkestan and Kazakhstan. They'll be in those places, probably, primarily, right? Where Shia, right, they would be pretty much where they are right now, because they're not in Arabia. They're like in Persia, surrounding areas, right? And Africans, they're pretty much where they are right now, right? In south of Egypt. So that's New Jerusalem. That's the new city, so to speak. That's a new structure, right? A nation that will last forever. That's the structure. So now we go over here and look at the bottom right, and we see we're the head. Remember, it says we've been the tail, but no longer be the tail, we'll be the head. We're the head because we're the gods now. And the hands, that's the Shia, right? And the feet, right? That's the Levites. And it says that the feet had to what? They stay on earth. And the earth represents, right? They used to represent the waters, but now the tribulation is over. Now they represent, that's new earth and new heavens. So the Arabs represents the new earth. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I said I would go over this again, so I'm going to go over try and make you understand it. It was right there before your eyes. That's it. But you don't see it. And like I said, there's a lot of information in the angel like that I haven't even went over. It's right before the eyes, and it speaks to what I'm talking about, because I've been talking about this type of thing. But, like I said, I got 30 years ahead of you, and, there's a lot of stuff that, you're trying to catch up with, those of you that are studying. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Differently. Let's take the same route. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's New Jerusalem. It's not any will. That's what we're going to form once we come together, and then we're delivered. Those of us that live, that's 144,000. This time, unprecedented trouble, brothers and sisters. That 144,000, that's the new birth. That's the nation that's about to be birthed. The war is about to break and it's about to come forward. That's New Jerusalem. New body, transformed in the twinkle of an eye. That's New Jerusalem. We left out as angels, return as gods. Those of us that do return. Gods do not need anyone to look over them, right? Check with them and all that kind of stuff. No, they don't need that. Gods don't need that. We don't need a police force and all that kind of garbage. We don't need that. It's going to be beautiful, brothers and sisters. It's beautiful now when you understand it, because no harm comes to us. I mean, they're attacking me. Whoa, they viciously. I'm still here. Still standing. And don't get hung up in this Farrakhan thing, because he's not going. He'll still be around when Suleiman shows up. It says, who Suleiman, talking about son of addition, who Suleiman would destroy with spirit of his mouth, who he would be the one who would consume son of addition with his mouth and destroy him with the brightness of his coming. He's about to be destroyed. But he's been consumed because this truth eating him up. Because people are asking, wait a minute, that old man said this and that was happening. What do you got to say? He has nothing to say because he don't know anything. He's deaf, dumb, and blind. He doesn't know anything. And you hanging around with somebody like that, he needs a cane to figure out his way around. He has no idea what's about to come. Because if he did, he would tell you. He said he's the anointed. How can he be anointed when he's son of a devil? He's not anointed. In fact, if you read Exodus, God didn't want to have anything to do with him. He says, no. You know, only Elijah insisted. It's Elijah insisted. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters, so you don't be confused. Abomination of desolation is next on the menu. America's falling apart here. You see riots and golden corral, this kind of stupid stuff they're doing. They're collapsing under the pressure. But they will totally come apart. Abomination of desolation. When you see it, a place that's not, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, that's to my physical Jerusalem, right? Surrounded by armies. No, it's desolation, destruction is not. Because once it's surrounded, American Britain will be kicked out of the Middle East, then there'll be nothing but them in there. And at that time, a lot of them are going to be gone. Because as soon as they see the war starts, they don't have the confidence that Jesus is going to come and help them. Most don't believe in Jesus anyway. They think Jesus in hell in excrement. If you know what excrement is, that's what they say. They believe that. I'm not making that up. So a lot of them, when the war starts, those that can go, if they're not in the military or whatever, they're already gone. They're gone. But this, because they actually see the war will be formidable. But those are left, those are left. Those that are left. Terrible. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Time of unprecedented trouble. Desolation, desolation, that means false Israel can't go down because that's the promise. Once you establish again, you'll be there forever. You have a kingdom forever. That thing wasn't established by God. It was established by Gog and Magog. And they're not going to last forever. And they're lying about everything they do. Critical race theory is not critical about how they live. They confuse themselves to their destruction. Hope you understand, brothers. I'm going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.